Hello, I'm Neil Quigley and welcome to the latest episode of my Blogcast. Hope you're good and you've had a nice couple of weeks. Mine have been very relaxing. I bought my girlfriend for Christmas a spa day for two at Champneys in Tring. Luckily for me, she decided to take me with her and we went there a couple of Sundays ago. I had been once before. I used to work for a radio station in Aylesbury called Mix 96, and for our Christmas do one year, we actually went to Champneys for the day, had use of the facilities and had a couple of treatments. It was really good. It was very relaxing. We even saw Cherie Blair in a velour tracksuit as we arrived. So we knew we were in quite a highbrow place at that point. Anyway, I hadn't actually got round to going back since, and that would have been nearly 15 years ago for my last visit. But I bought Linda that as a gift for Christmas, so we eventually booked to go there for our day. It wasn't really too far to go. It's only about 20 minutes away from where Linda lives, so we headed over there in the morning. The day was due to start at 9 a.m, so obviously we wanted to make sure we got our money's worth, so we turned up there at exactly 9 a.m. The way it works, there's a bit of a queue actually on arrival, but they're all very friendly, the staff, and helpful. They check you in for the day and give you your schedule. We had already booked a couple of treatments each, so they just reminded us when they were and who they were with. And as part of the package that I'd bought, we actually got a light snack breakfast in the drawing room. So they sent us in that direction. The building and the location itself is so nice. They have lots of amazing grounds and the inside of the building is very well decorated. It just feels very peaceful and it's all very well done. So in the drawing room, they had a selection of fruits and sandwiches for you to grab. Now, for me, as a celiac, I'm always slightly concerned in these situations that I'll probably get some fruit. That's normally all that's on offer, but fair play, they did have salmon and cream cheese bagels that were gluten-free. So I had some of them along with the usual yogurt and fruit and a cup of tea and some fruit juice. It was quite a nice sunny day, so we were very lucky with the weather. We found a nice table outside and had our light snack while we had a chat about how we planned on spending the day. We had full access to all the spa facilities, which was all the usual things you would expect: jacuzzi, sauna, steam room, and they had a hydrotherapy pool there as well. So the plan was basically to try everything and get as much out of the day as we possibly could. As I said, we had two treatments booked, one before lunch and one after lunch, and we did get a 3-course meal as part of the package as well. By the time we arrived, had our breakfast there and were given a tour of the place so we knew where everything was, we had about an hour before our first treatment. So we decided to sit outside for a little bit and enjoy the sunshine and the sereneness of the surroundings. And then we noticed the outdoor jacuzzi had some space in it. So we went and sat in there for about 20 minutes or so. There's a treatment area reception where you go to wait for all of your various things that you can have done there. We decided to try something a bit experimental that Linda saw. It wasn't very expensive. It was called dry flotation, and they clearly only have the one piece of apparatus to do that treatment, as we had to book straight after each other. So Linda went first and I had half an hour to myself while she was having her treatment. I spent that having a bit of a look around the place, to be honest. I found a nice quiet meditation area where there was running water and it was nice and warm on a bench, very relaxing. So I sat there for most of the 30 minutes. Literally, she came out as I went in, so we didn't have a chance to have much of a chat, and she didn't really have a chance to tell me what she thought it was like. So what happens is the therapist leads you into this room. There's a strange contraption. She tells you to climb in, and it's kind of like lying on a waterbed, I suppose. You lie on this waterbed, you get comfy. Then the waterbed is lowered into clearly what is some warmish water. There's music playing in the background, and basically the therapist just leaves you for half an hour to lay there and relax as you're being kind of gently rocked and gently warmed, although about halfway through, the machine does start making some strange noises and it kind of readjusts the airbag that you're on. It was quite relaxing. I did nearly drift off to sleep while I was on there. The therapist was saying 30 minutes of sleep on that dry flotation apparatus is apparently the equivalent to getting 3 hours sleep at night, although I didn't do anything else than dozing, and it didn't feel that amazing. It's not something we're sure we'd do again, but we tried it. It was nice. It was a chance to daydream, be quiet and reflect on life while being rocked fairly gently. Although I did find it quite tricky to get out. You have to climb yourself off the airbed thing and get onto a step, and that took me probably longer than it should. After my go on the dry flotation had finished, I caught up with Linda and we had a drink outside to discuss our experience. She kind of felt the same as me. It was all right, but it didn't really do much and wasn't necessarily that groundbreaking. We had about half an hour before we had our lunch booked, so we decided to have a look at the hydrotherapy pool. So we hopped in there. They have one big pool, but in every corner and part, there's different water jets and kind of different ways that the water massages you and relaxes you. It was actually quite busy. It was, as I said, a nice sunny day. I guess they have hotel guests who stay there overnight. They have day guests like us, and I think you can be a member there as well. So you can probably just rock up at any point you like and use the facilities. So it was a little bit busy, but we did actually manage to get round and try everything. Then we had to get out and dry ourselves off. Like most big spas, they do issue you with some flip-flops and a big cosy white fluffy dressing gown. So that was mainly our attire for the day, with our swimming costumes underneath. We dried off and put our robes and flip-flops on and headed off to the dinner. Now, as ever, anywhere we go that's new, that's not a celiac accredited place to eat, I have to have quite the discussion with the people there just to make sure I can eat safely. So I did have quite a long chat to the waitress. To be fair, their food generally was quite well labelled, although it was all buffet, which does cause me a bit of a problem, only because, and I've said this before, and I used to do it myself as well, best will in the world, when you're doing a buffet and you're getting various different things onto your plate, it is so easy to use the spoon from something else to pick something else up, which is fine normally for people who are not celiac, because I have to be very careful about cross-contamination. So I'm always very wary about buffets, but there was a nice selection of stuff. I managed to find areas that were completely gluten-free, so I did manage to get a nice selection of salad in the main, along with a few other items and a bit of meat. Plus, because I'd been so good with my main and that was so healthy, including some superfoods, I decided to have 2 dessert pots. Although their dessert pots were very small, in my defence. It was really nice. The dining area was lovely as well. You were really well looked after, and it had what I would call elevator style music being pumped through. You know, almost panpipe versions of well-known songs. That kind of thing was going on, which is relatively relaxing, although sometimes I get distracted by trying to work out what song they're actually trying to replicate, which isn't always as easy as it seems like it should be. But that was great and that was very relaxing. By this point, we're almost nearly halfway through our day. The time is really going. So next up, after we'd let our dinner go down by again having a bit of a sit in the sunshine in a different area of the grounds they have there with a different view of the fantastic countryside, it was time to go inside and go to 2 of my favourite places on a spa day and in gyms, the steam room and the sauna. So we spent a bit of time in both of those. We got lucky in that they weren't particularly big, either of them, but we did manage to find a space and it wasn't too overcrowded in there. They also did have a plunge pool, which I witnessed a few people trying, and having seen them try it, it made me definitely not want to give it a go. The noises they made and the looks on their faces suggested I didn't need to plunge myself into cold water like that. So I didn't. We just spent a bit of time going in and out of the sauna and in and out of the steam room. We then had another treatment planned for the afternoon. You can't go to a spa day and not have a massage. So the one we booked was on Linda's suggestion because she had had it before. It was a massage that came with a body exfoliation, which I not really had before, but she said it was good. It was called their Radiance massage. Now, we were collected from the treatment reception by our therapist. Mine arrived first, and she just did double check with me that I knew exactly what the treatment involved. Seemingly, previously, men had booked it thinking it was just a massage, not realising about the other side of things. So she did check that with me. I knew what I was getting because Linda did roughly explain it to me. You go into the room, you get yourself sorted, and then they rub this exfoliator cream all over you, and it's quite abrasive. It's very sticky on hair as well. So that gets plastered all over my legs, my arms, my back. And then the next part of the treatment is there's a little shower room in the treatment room, and you have to go and give yourself a shower and make sure you get all the stuff off your body. Otherwise, the therapist said to me, she'll just end up massaging it back in and it'll be a bit painful and sore. So I took this very seriously, and I took quite some time in the shower getting absolutely all of it off because it really was sticking to my hair. It was quite a job, and also it was quite hard to reach. I'm not the most flexible person in the world, so to get it all off everywhere, it did take quite some time. In fact, I think she knocked on the door about 3 times expecting me to have done it, and I hadn't, because you had to wash it all off, then dry yourself off and get yourself back under the covers ready for the massage. I did that and it was fine, but it just meant my massage was a bit quick and a bit short because I'd wasted a lot of my massage time in the shower. A learning curve if I ever have it again. It was nice, it was peaceful, it was relaxing. I think I still prefer a full hour massage where they're really sort of going to town on your back and your legs. I think I kind of get a bit more out of that. That said, it was more gentle and more relaxing and good. And to be fair, my skin afterwards was very soft and smooth. It felt amazing. So I did enjoy that. It was 50 minutes long, and Linda and I had managed to book that one at the same time. So we started and finished more or less at the same time. We met afterwards, and by this time we had about 3 hours left of our day. So we decided to try and do another round of everything. So back into the jacuzzi, back into the hydro pool, some more sauna, some more steam room, and then some more sitting around. The time did fly by. The other issue that I had during the day was the lockers they have there are key code lockers, like you find in lots of hotel rooms, and they're safes where you choose a number code and can lock it, and then you unlock it with your same number code. Well, I managed to lock it at the start of the day, thinking I'd use a memorable combination of numbers. I then went back in to try and get something about halfway through the day and couldn't open the locker door. I obviously must have mistyped in the number, or I hadn't remembered the number I put in there correctly. Rather than waste any time during the spa day itself, there was nothing I desperately needed from the locker, just something I was going to get to make things a bit easier. So I decided to leave it until the end of the day. And I thought, well, at that point, I'm nearly gone. It won't be as embarrassing if I have to get someone in there to open it just before I go, rather than doing it in the afternoon and the staff seeing me for the rest of the afternoon. The other problem was, it was quite a busy changing room, and you can't just sit there at a locker randomly trying to put in different codes for quite a long time with people staring at you, because they will probably quite rightly think you're trying to nick something and get a bit wary and probably call security. Anyway, at the end of the day, as we headed back to the changing rooms, I said to Linda, I'll meet you in reception because I'm going to have to ask someone to come and open my locker so I can get my clothes out and dress before I leave the premises. I'd had 2 failed attempts, and I just thought, I wonder if I managed to transpose the final number. Surely I didn't, because only an idiot would do that. Oh, but I'll just give it one try. Tried it, and sure enough, the locker popped open. I'd got the numbers completely wrong. So actually, at least I didn't leave her waiting in reception too long. She really had a good day. So much so, in fact, that there was an offer on that day that you had to take the option up on that day to have a 2-night stay at one of the Champneys spas somewhere. So Linda actually bought herself that. I need to be nice and good to make sure I'm the one who accompanies her on that one as well. But it was a good day, thoroughly enjoyed it. I did feel so relaxed afterwards as well, which was the aim of the game. One of Linda's friends lives with her boyfriend in a place called Congleton, which is kind of between Stoke-on-Trent and Manchester. We've been there a couple of times before, and it's always good fun. It's a lovely place. So we'd agreed to go up and see them, us and another couple. We'd booked an Airbnb. So we headed up there on the Friday night after work. The other couple who we were staying with in the Airbnb and the couple who lived there had got there and met up a lot earlier. So Linda and I didn't get there till gone 10 p.m. We got ourselves into the Airbnb, dropped our stuff off and headed straight to one of the pubs to meet them. Lovely little pub. Fantastic, really nice atmosphere. We met up with them and had a good chat and a bit of a drink, and we were the last ones to leave that place. Then Linda and I and the other couple who were staying with us at the Airbnb headed back there, and our other friends went back to their house. The sensible thing to do on a long weekend like that would have been to get home, go to bed and get ready to get up early the next morning. Not what we did. We got back, continued snacking, drinking, talking, and I think we got to bed at about 3 a.m. in the end, which did mean we were a bit tired for the rest of the weekend. We slowly got up and got ourselves ready. We cooked breakfast at the Airbnb, and the couple who lived in the town came over and met us. Then we all headed off for some drinks in a new part of Congleton that we'd not been to before, called the Market Quarter, which is basically a food and drink hall. So they've got lots of different little food places and bars and a big seating area, and you can buy your food and drink from wherever you want and just sit wherever you can find a free table. We were lucky with the weather. It was nice and sunny and dry and relatively warm, so we just sat out there in the end chatting and having a few drinks for about 4 hours or so in the end. Then we went our separate ways. We went back to the Airbnb. I did an outfit change ready for the evening, was the only one to do so as well. I'm such a diva. As I wasn't drinking alcohol, I drove us over to our friend's house because they were cooking us a fantastic dinner. Now I, at some point, had obviously misheard that there was going to be a murder mystery evening. So I was kind of ready for that. I didn't know if there'd be role playing, if it was a board game, what was going on. I seem to remember it being mentioned right at the start when they invited us, but we hadn't heard anything about that part since. So we arrived, still no mention of it, had some drinks and got ourselves settled down, ready to eat. They have got a very cute dog, and it's been a while since I've just had time to sit down and stroke a dog. That is also very, very relaxing as well. Their dog is very well behaved and very cute. We had a great time. They prepared a lovely meal, and they were so careful and courteous about my food needs and made sure everything was gluten-free and double-checked things with me, told me what I couldn't have, kept things away from me. Absolutely perfect. So great of them to do that. It is really appreciated by me when people just take that little bit of extra care to help me and make sure I don't get ill. When I'm eating out at their places means I can enjoy myself and relax so much more. So we had a brilliant night. That was a late night once again with lots of laughter and lots of stories and lots of catching up. But no one at any point mentioned anything about the murder mystery weekend, and that never happened. Night ended, back to the Airbnb, and then we came back to their place. Not only did they cook us a fantastic 3-course meal in the evening. Well, they did 2 courses, and Linda supplied the cheesecake that we had, which was lemon and raspberry. And because I think she does like me, at least sometimes, gluten-free as well, so I can get involved with that. So they did all the cooking and washing up on the Saturday night. Before we all headed home, once we'd left the Airbnb, we were straight back to their place, and they cooked us an amazing fried breakfast. So basically, I just spent the entire weekend laughing, chatting, drinking and eating, and it was fantastic. Had a brilliant time, and it's such a lovely place, Congleton, as well. The atmosphere of the place is great. Sure, we will get back up that way soon. It was Linda's mum's birthday recently, so we went out for a birthday meal for her to one of the local pubs. Linda had to email ahead to make sure they could safely serve me gluten-free food. They had a non-containing gluten menu, but at the same time, we're keen to point out they couldn't guarantee that there wouldn't be any cross-contamination, which does mean when I eat somewhere like that, there is a bit of a risk. Generally, they have to say that legally, but at the same time, you wonder, once they've said that, if they're taking as much care as they maybe could. I ordered off the non-gluten containing menu, and the food I had was fine, and I did have a 3-course meal there as well, and it was all lovely. We had some of the rest of the family there as well. One thing I did find out off the back of this is Linda's mum, she cannot wait to open any cards or any presents if you give them to her before her birthday. Everything she has, she will open straight away, no question. So if you give her everything too early, there's a danger she'll have nothing to open on the day. I got her a card and a voucher to spend, and I made sure I gave that to Linda with instructions obviously not to give it to her until the day, so she at least had one thing to open. And just in case you're wondering, no, when Linda and her brother were younger, she did not let them open cards and presents as soon as they arrived. They had to wait until it was their actual birthday. She seems to be playing hard and fast with her own rules. While we were at the pub, it was one of those situations where it was not that busy when we arrived, but after us being there half an hour, the entire pub seemed empty. That seems to happen to me quite a bit. I always seem to empty a place. Often it's because I stay long enough to be the last one there, but sometimes it'll happen during the day and I never know why. I was a bit concerned that we managed to do that again until we walked outside and just basically found everybody else in the pub was sitting outside in the sunshine. That was fun. It was a landmark birthday and Linda's mum had a fantastic time with the celebrations that have gone on for about 2 weeks, to be honest. I might do the same with my birthday in December and follow her lead. I also suffer from asthma, and over the last couple of months, I've been having a few asthma problems. I had an asthma checkup. Initially, they gave me a new inhaler to try, but that unfortunately didn't make things better. If anything, made my asthma slightly worse. So the next stage of the plan was to go back to my old asthma, the same asthma I've been taking pretty much since I was 7 years old. I had always taken it in the same way, and they've suddenly gone, well, this isn't quite working. We're not sure exactly what to try. You're on the strongest inhaler you could possibly be on. So we're just going to completely change the way you take your inhaler. So she showed me a video. Now, I used to shake my inhaler, puff it straight into my mouth, hold my breath for about 10 seconds. That was the lot. And that's how I've been taking it for as long as I can remember. I'm in the doctor's having the review with the nurse when she suggests changing the way I take my inhaler. She shows me a video, and it just so happens the person in the video being shown how to do it is a young boy. So I'm thinking, great, they don't think I'm capable to take my asthma like an adult. I mean, they might well be right. So the way I now have to take it is to shake my asthma, put it into the big long plastic tube that I've been using for a while, and instead of breathing in straight away and holding my breath, I just have to breathe normally for 5 times in and out of the chamber. Been trying that for a couple of weeks now. It's much better than it was when I was on the new inhaler they tried to give me, but it's still not perfect. It's just quite weird trying to have to remember to do something you've been doing without thinking for so many years, 40 odd years, and do it a completely different way. But if it helps and makes me feel better, that'll be great. I have been going out with my girlfriend Linda for over 4 years now, but our parents have never met. So today she is throwing an afternoon tea and we are going to introduce them for the first time over at her house. So I'm looking forward to that. It'd be fun for everybody to meet up and have a relaxing, nice afternoon together. That is just about it for this week. Just the usual reminder that you can hear my radio show Saturday afternoons between 2 and 4 at radio9springs.com. But that is it for this episode. Thanks for listening. Look after yourselves and each other. Stay safe, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.